Gail Quidley Scarborough talks about learning how to build a pound net with her husband, Russell Quidley, in an interview with Susan West.
So he started fishing. He started pound netting, and it was hard to get somebody. He knew about nets, but he knew how to make a net, tie a net. He even knew how to do that. But he had never constructed a pound net. I remember Mr. Perry and Mr. Lawrence down in Austin, his brothers, they pound netted, and we'd ride down, of course, when they came in, and Russell they'd tell him things, and we'd listen. And he watched them, and I did too. He knew how to tie a net. And I sort of learned too, just helping him. The regular net wasn't too bad. The pound and the hearts, or lead line and cork line, and he knew how to do that. But it was cutting the tunnel. The tunnel is a square, 40-foot square. 40 foot, and then it'll have two hearts, and they're like triangles. They're attached to it, and then there's a lead, but you have to have the tunnel, and then you put an iron on it, but you have to cut it on a bias. It starts out very small and ends up, bigger. So I can remember going up to Spencer's restaurant. Mr. R.A. Spencer had pound netted up in, I think, the Wanchese area for years. And he would know how to cut the tunnel. So he was helping his son in the restaurant. So he'd come out in between making these hush puppies. and we'd be working on this tunnel, He'd show us how to cut it and line it.
Where did you buy the netting material?
The lead you usually had to have, they made it up there. Reedsville has great big nets that they use for Reedsville, Virginia. And they use them for
Menhaden?
Menhaden
okay.
boats. And they put their Menhaden boats go out. After a while, they tear and they have to make new ones, but they sell them, and they're big enough so you cut your own net. So we'd go buy about 3 or 4 of those. You'd have to mend them and cut what you needed out. Then you'd line it, both on the bottom with leads to keep it down, and on the top with corks to make it float.